Morning YouTube. Couldn't sleep, so it's probably, I don't know, 6 in the morning. Which ain't that bad. But anyways, I posted on my YouTube. If you're not on there, it's Mad Styles Restorations. Check it out. It's stuff that I don't do on YouTube channel. I usually put on there. Sometimes it's just stuff I don't think anybody will enjoy, or whatever. Anyways, I got this little Elgin. Ooh, kitty scared the shit out of me. But, okay, you can say hi. I got this Elgin. It's a 3.5 horsepower. Elgin was made by Sears. It's not froze up. The history I have, it was my uncle's, or my wife's uncle's, and I think he's had it for 10 or 15 years, and the guy before him had it for 10 or 15 years, and it hasn't been started in probably 30 years. So it's missing the pull starter, but I think I can wrap a rope around there. I did find the pull starter on eBay for fairly cheap, so we'll see if we get it running or whatnot. But from the codes on it, it looks to be 1944. Kitty. It looks like 11744, but I wouldn't guarantee that. So why don't we get started? We'll take it apart and clean the carburetor, check spark, check the fuel tank. We'll see if we can get it to run. Alright, let me grab some tools. Okay, it looks like to get the tank off, there is 4 screws. There's like 4 nuts that have to come off that the screws went into to get the tank off. See if I can get you in there. Some pretty nasty stuff in there. Doesn't look rusted though. This might be an aluminum tank. I don't know. It kind of looks rusted on top. It's alright. The size of that spider. Good thing he's dead. He's like 3 times the size of my finger. I do see spider nests right there. Or egg sac or whatever they're called. Let me clean those little fellers out and then we'll get more into it. This is a carburetor and parts cleaner. It has like a little basket in it. So you just put the parts in a little basket and put it in there and let it soak. You get it at like the auto parts store, Napa, pretty much any auto parts store should have it. It's pretty tarnished. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. You can see all that chunky stuff. The holes are pretty much plugged. I'm not going to take the seat out. Okay, we'll put her in there and let her soak probably a couple hours. I need an ultrasonic cleaner, but I don't have one. And I'm gonna take a break and oh, forgot some pieces. The bowl. And the float. Okay, I've noticed that this has been taken apart before. You can see there's hammer marks. That was kind of too easy. So we're just going to clean up the surfaces. This says June 19th, 1967 it looks like. So, I don't know. Maybe it's from the 60s or this has been replaced. I've never worked on a boat motor, so this is all new to me. Nothing looks loose. We'll clean up the points and clean up all these surfaces. It looks like it was already done. I don't know. Clean the points. See that spark? We have Sparky Spark Spark. Oh yeah. Let's throw a little bit of touche cycle in it and see if it'll cough for us. Sound good? Okay, so what we're gonna do is put a little bit of fuel. Actually, we'll have to put the top back together so I have somewhere to wrap. No, we don't. Let's just put a little bit of fuel in it. The spark plug in it. You guys can't see anything. Okay, let's do one more. One more. I don't even think I gotta put more gas in it. The plug is soaked. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ready? I think we might have flooded it. Okay, I put a little bit of gas in where the carburetor goes. It's getting sparks still, so Okay, I think my issue might be my gas. It smells old, like really old. So I might have to go up to Lowe's or Home Depot and Ace somewhere to get some of that True Fuel stuff. That stuff works great. Scared me. I dropped everything. I think that might be all it's going to give us. This crappy gas. Yeah, that stuff smells horrible. Wet spark plug. Won't even burn. Alright, well, I gotta get more gas. But, I think we can continue on. Get rid of that gas. I'll pour it in this tank, try and rinse this tank out. Remember, click that subscribe down there. So we're outside cleaning out the gas tank. I'm just gonna take some nuts, some whatever you got. Just make sure they're not covered in dirt. Put them in there. We already put like about a quarter of a tank. I'm gonna spray like half a can of carb cleaner in there. Take this bad boy. Okay, it's the next day. I got the parts out of the carb cleaner. I ran them through the parts washer. It stripped off a lot of the paint, which isn't a big deal. I'm gonna see if I can find a rebuild kit for this, because it looks like the bowl gasket. If you can look at your gasket and it's like hard and starting to crack, you probably need a new one. This one's pretty rough, but it's probably 60 years old. So, but everything looks good except for I'm gonna have to clean some holes out on the emulsion tube. I don't know if you can even see that, it's so small, but there's supposed to be holes around the bottom and they're missing. Well, they're there, kinda. That's when these little like dental picks come in handy. You can pick them up on like eBay and stuff. This one I broke the tip off of. But let me blow this all off and dry it off. I'll spare you guys that because the compressor's going to come on and it'll be super loud. And we'll put it back together. Okay, so we got the carburetor done. We'll see if it actually works. I adjusted them all the way in. Then I did a turn and a half out. That's pretty close to where they were. That'll get you kind of in the ballpark for almost anything. So I'm told. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt this on. You won't be able to see because my fat hands will be in the way. But I'll bring you back in 2 seconds. Oh, so my dilemma. I had a gas can that I used to start small engines, but I've left it outside so many times that the petcock froze shut. So we're gonna have to use this gas can, which I know has rust in it. It ain't too bad, but I do know it has rust in it. But we're gonna, I've seen a lot of people use vinegar. I've always used phosphoric acid for rust, but I've never used it for like gasoline and rust. I've never used it for a gas tank. But we're gonna put some phosphoric acid in here, and hopefully I don't die. Hopefully. My wife knows to call hazmat in 5 minutes if I'm not responding. It's probably a cup. We're gonna put the cap back on. Put the cap back on and swish it around, then we'll take the cap off. I should have a mask on. Don't try this at home. I know there's no kids because I put that awesome symbol down at the bottom that says no children. So adults, and if you have a kid watching with you, don't try this at home. Okay. Well, I'm not dead. Kind of lightheaded, but I think that's just the gas fumes. Be alright. Let me throw a couple bolts in there, squish it around a little bit. Wondering if gasoline on my camera will ruin it, because it's all over it. These are just nuts and bolts, and I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, because I've never done it, but hopefully it works. Okay, we're gonna pour this out. I have a hazmat pan, just like a bucket that I take to the hazmat place. So I'll pour this out into there, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I let the gas tank sit with phosphoric acid in it overnight. I switched it around and stuff. You really can't see. Hell, I really can't see. It looks better. I won't say it looks great, but it looks better. So if we have some problems with it, I do have a can of that coating that you pour in there and you mix it around, you pour it out, and it puts like a plastic coating or something on the inside. But we'll do that if need be. Right now we're just gonna put it back together. Not completely back together because I don't have a pull starter. So we're just gonna put the tank back on, fix the gas line, hook the gas line up, put the plug in, put some mixed fuel in it, and see what happens. Let me get this tank back on and we'll get at it. Okay, so the tank is on, the carburetor is on. I left this loose because there's more stuff I'll have to do if it actually runs. I want to replace the gas line, fuel filter. I'll probably get a carb rebuild kit. That way it has new gaskets and stuff in it. But right now we're going to add a little bit of fuel to the tank. And I'm going to pull the plug out and put a little two-stroke down in there. and then we'll try and fire it up. We're going to use the drill and fire it up, just because I don't have the pull cord. As I said, I found one online for like 25 bucks, so I can't get one. I'm just pulling the spark plug out. It's probably enough gas to start it 5 times. I did add some 2-stroke oil to this premix. This is you buy this and it's already pre-mixed and it doesn't have ethanol or anything in it. But I assume this motor is probably like a 20-to-1 or a 30-to-1, and that fuel is a 40-to-1. So I added a couple tablespoons of oil. It does have a choke on it, so we'll put that on also. Open up the petcock. We're going to let the carburetor fill up, make sure there's no leaks. There is a button on the bottom of this right here, so I can push it and you can see it's getting fuel. Which that needs a new gasket also. But it doesn't look like the bowl's sticking, or the float is sticking. Alright, let's go ahead and try and start it, I guess. Start. There's a choke under here. Let me read what it says. Choke that way. Okay. Are you ready? All right. Awesome. I'm not going to run it because I don't know how the cooling system works. So I don't want to risk blowing it up. I know nothing about boat motors, especially old ones. I know on the newer ones it has to be in water, so it sucks up water. But I don't know if the newer ones are like that or not. So let's close the petcock. Woo! If you could, click down there. Subscribe.